Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this special session hosted by GDGC, Dibrugarh University. We have a very exciting session ahead of us, focusing on the journey into one of the most innovative companies on the planet. This event wouldn't have been possible without the support of Kalyan Gupta from the DevPlexity team, who played a key role in connecting us with our guest today. A big thank you to you, Kalyanda, for supporting our student community. Our speaker today is Satyam Jha, currently a software engineering intern at Google. Satyam is going to take us through three critical areas today: the Google interview process, the Google internship experience, and the big picture of the current state of computer science from the rise of agentic AI to the evolving role of developers in the industry. Whether you're preparing for your next placement or just curious about the future of tech, there is something here for everyone. Satyam, thank you so much for joining us from the campus today. We are all ready to learn from you. Over to you.
Yeah, so good evening, everyone. Am I audible, right?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, okay. So good evening, everyone. First of all, thanks for inviting me. Again, thanks to Kalyan, really nice guy with connection and stuff. So yeah, it was really smooth. So let me start. I have actually prepared a presentation. So I will be presenting that so that my thoughts can get be organized. So yeah. Okay. Um, so yeah, about me, as he already introduced, my name is Satyam Jha. I'm a final year student in from IIT Dhanbad. I'm a former intern at Google. I interned in like this summer or last summer. And I am upcoming engineer at Google. I got the pre-placement offer from them, and yeah, it was really nice working with them. Uh, I will cover about my experience in upcoming slides. Also, I will be talking about like how you can improve yourself and try to crack those interviews. Not only cracking the interviews, but also how I've also got some insights, even though I am not that senior of an engineer, but 3 months of industry experience has taught a little bit of me. So I want to talk about that as well. So yeah, for let's start with the hiring process. So Google's hiring process is can be like divided into like three parts. At first, you find a role at Google at the career portal. Every company has a career portal, and you just go and find a suitable role for yourself and you apply. One thing to keep in mind here is that for any application or role, you will see minimum requirements and preferred requirements. It is always advisable that you see the preferred requirements, even though we you look at the preferred requirements. Although, like in some cases, minimum requirements also work, but uh, it's always preferred that you look at the preferred requirements. Then, if you are there might be sometimes that you might be given online assessments after you apply. And yeah, also while applying, it is advisable to apply with the referral. You can talk to any Googlers. On LinkedIn and try to get reference. It's not at all compulsory. Like there might be many people who did not take a referral and their resume got shortlisted. And again, there might be people who took the referral and did not get shortlisted. But again, as far as what I feel, I think referrals do help, especially if you know a Googler and he knows your work. That actually helps a lot. That the guy inside can vouch for you. So that would be really nice. And after you apply, you will get a mail from Google or the recruiting team about interviews or the further processes. Some cases they might ask you for giving an online assessment, which is basically for internships and new grad positions. It's basically a coding round, just like other companies. And then you have Google interviews, and then you get the final offer after a couple of round of interviews. For internship, I gave 2 rounds of interviews. Sometimes you do have to give 3 rounds depending on the like how the feedback was for both the rounds. For new grad positions, you have to give 3 rounds, and again, in some cases, you might have to give 4 rounds, or yeah, max 4 or 5 rounds, depending on the feedback. Because if you have a mixed feedback, Google won't always tries to give you more chance to prove yourself. Like in first interview, you performed really really well, but in the second one, you just bombed the interview. So this actually shows that. The guy might be good, but it was just bad luck. So uh, uh, Google tries to give one more chance, and then depending on that feedback, it goes to the hiring committee. Hiring committee basically then decides whether to move forward, and then you get the final offer. Uh, so yeah, the first thing is how to get your resume shortlisted. There is no like a specific uh, rule that you have to do this to get your resume shortlisted. But uh, these are some important points that I want to focus on. The first thing that you should have in your resume is your coding profile. How much problems have you solved? Like create a table. Like I have seen many resumes. They just mentioned that I have this max rating in Code Forces, this much max rating in Code Chef. It's better you create a table, and in that table you just mention the platform, you write the username and attach the link, and the rating and the number of problems solved. uh, that is actually really helpful because it keeps things organized, and it will even help the ATS to parse and get your data. Although I don't know how much, obviously, like today AI is being used almost everywhere, so they must be using it. I don't know. uh, but yeah, then state your project. This is actually really important because you will see recruiters mentioning this in a lot of places that try to write this, state your projects in this form. You accomplished X as measured by Y by doing Z. For example, I have written reduced page load times. That is X. The page load, you reduced page load times. So what did you accomplish? You reduce the page load times by 2 seconds. This number 2 seconds is actually really important because that shows your impact. Now, how did you reduce it? By optimizing images and code. Like this, I took the example. There are many better examples. If you write the accomplished XYZ rule and search it at Google, you will get how you can write this. Maybe this guy reduced the page load times by reducing the time taken uh, to decode the images or something. Like if there was a latency in the database, added some kind of indexing in the database or added the cache, then due to this. And also one more thing, like you should, even if it is a personal project, these numbers, you will only be able to get these numbers if you set up alerting and monitoring on your projects or logging on your project, like how many users are using it and all. So you should go and even like these all things, no one does that. Like they just like create a clone website, but like you don't know how many users are using it. Like generally if you deploy it, then the like if you're deploying Cloudflare or any other place, they do provide the peak load on the server and etc. But you never, like we, even I didn't, like, because I didn't know that these things are also done. So that when how many users are using it, what is the load times, what how many times, like if you are building an app and you just uh, launched it, you never see in how much percentage of the time your app is crashing or you're getting an app not responding. We do not like how is it performing in the lower end devices. Like generally all of us have, like we generally build it and check it on our device. But when you are building at scale, you do need to cater for devices, lower end devices as well. Like, and if the, and like how your app is performing when the battery is low, like all these things you will learn only when you get a real life exposure. Like even I didn't know that, okay, you need to check all these things. So yeah, these things are important. So try to make, and you will get numbers only from these things. So try to include some kind of parameters. The why part is important. Try to also add, even in case of achievements, you should do it in this way. Like, for example, you in any competitive exam rank, competitive exam, you got some X rank. Many people just write, I got X rank in this exam. You should. It's preferable to write you got X rank out of these many candidates, and because if generally the number of candidates is really huge, so that shows your impact. And I'm telling you, in any kind of company wherever you work as an engineer, these numbers are really important because these numbers really show your work. It kind of shows it in a quantitative fashion, like, okay, you did this and some guy did X and other guy did Y. uh, then if I want to judge, I can definitely judge it in a qualitative way, but that won't be fair many times. So that's why judging in quantitative fashion is always preferred inside, and that's why numbers are important. You can watch this video. This slides will be shared to you. These it is a YouTube video where Google recruiters have shared how to craft your resume. You can go more in depth. I've covered major points. Again, like some of the other points are like keep your resume one page, uh, then preferably PDF format, and I think these, and yeah, try to create your resume from overleaf in LaTeX instead of like creating in docs and all. So that actually gives a more professional vibe to your resume. And yeah, you can always go to google.com/careers. That's the career portal of Google. They have like a lot of documents, like how like what they see for in a really high. They don't go deep. They just go. They give you a high overview that what they're looking for. And again, there are a lot of videos on YouTube regarding the recruiting team of Google themselves post these videos. They have even some mock interviews of Google and YouTube as well. You can go and check them out to get more in depth knowledge of how to craft resume, how to answer in interviews, etc. Next, the Google interviews. Okay. So actually, I have interviewed for Microsoft in my during my intern season. I interviewed for 4 companies. I interviewed for DShaw, Microsoft, Sprinkler, and Google. And I'm telling you, Google interviews may I had the most fun out of all, and the reason is that they ask really good questions. Not like many cases, they won't be hard questions. It will be real, like DSA is mixed with a real life engineering problem, and that is what I really like about these people. You won't get a like a crackhead math problem. Shift these numbers and all. You might get it if your interviewer is a competitive programmer, but in majority of the cases, you will get a question which is more close to software engineering, and you will be using DSA to solve that engineering problem, and that's why you will like these problems. And it is DSA style, generally 45 minutes to 50 minutes long. Again, internship interviews are 45 minutes long. They don't have like that HR or Googliness round. Internship rounds are purely DSA technical. They are 45 minutes, and Google is really strict with the time. So there might be possible that they just hang up if the 45-minute time period gets over without even saying anything. Might be the case, not always, but in majority of the cases, like generally the interviewer will tell you ki okay, we have already reached the 40 minutes mark, we don't have time left. But yeah, Google is really strict with the timing of the interviews. And as I said, it's DSA style, really fun problems. You will see a lot of concepts getting mixed, so it's fun. Then CS fundamentals, yeah, sometimes what they do, Google generally does not have a explicit round in which they check CS fundamentals. Like in other companies, like in Sprinkler, they asked me only CS fundamental question, and then they gave me DSA problems. Here, they don't will not specifically ask you this regarding CS fundamentals. They will ask the CS fundamentals in cohesion with the DSA problem that they get. Like the DSA problem might have, as I told you, it's a real world problem. So it might have some terminologies, and they might ask you the meaning of those terminologies. And generally, those terminologies are like threads, routers, IP addresses. So yeah, in this way they check your CS fundamentals as well, and it's a really nice way. Like it's like they are really checking you how you will act like an engineer inside. uh, and yeah, code quality is really important. What do I mean by code quality is that how you write the code, and how, like, the name of the variables, the name of the functions. Are you are you doing an atomic work in a single function? Basically, if the problem tells you to do 3 tasks, you should create 3 functions, and then you should also create one more function which calls 3 functions in orders. Also, try to tell about the time complexity and the space complexity of each portion of your problem, because that shows your algorithmic thinking. And if basically it checks, they want to check whether your concepts regarding time and space complexity are clear or not, because that is what drives the engineering solutions when you like work inside. It may help you it helps a lot of times because like the reason they check is that imagine you have been practicing lead code a lot. So if some test case gets failed, like even one test gets failed, and since you have practiced a lot of problems and you have faced this thing a lot of times, when you will be working on the real world solution to a problem inside, it will automatically come to your head, because there you have to write the tests. There won't be any explicit test. You have to write the unit tests and other tests. So you will always be like, did I miss something? Do I need to check anything else? Did I check for empty array? Did I check for like if the data type entered by user doesn't match with the data type I'm accepting or something like that? And uh, generally, a lot of times developers do even forget, like even I forgot to check some really edge cases in my real work. But again, like, because it's really to the problem in the interview, they will tell you take some cases with you. You yourself have to take some cases. Like they won't there won't be any they won't run your code and check. So the type of edge cases or test cases that you take, that also shows your problem solving skills. And basically you will check whether your code is working or not on that. And the last point is thought process carries a lot of weight. When you are given a problem, try to ask a lot of clarifying questions, because the problem will be vague. They won't, like in lead code, the constraints and everything is given, but they won't give you all that. You have to ask for that, and they might not even give you how the input is given. Like it's do I need to take input as a double dimensional matrix or a vector, or like it's an array or maybe it's a graph. They won't give you that. You have to decode it from the problem, whether I have to use graph here, or how to take the input to organize, like which data structure should I use, and that's where data structures, knowledge of data structures come in, right? So that's why the best way of practicing for these or tackling these interviews is to give a lot of mock interviews, and I will talk about it more. I have a section on how to prepare in upcoming slides, so there I will talk about it. So this is like the general overview of how the Google interviews work. And apart from this, yeah, just like don't just emit out code after looking at the question. Ask a lot of clarifying questions, and then talk through your process. And it is completely okay if you directly tell them the brute force solution initially. If if the problem is really easy, you may directly tell the optimized solution. But if it's okay if you are not able to come up with the most optimized approach initially, just tell them the brute force approach and then try to improve on the solution. So they try to give you hints, so try to catch up those hints and try to correct your path if you are going down the wrong path, and like try to take up the hints, because the way you take up the hint also shows how you are taking the feedback. So sometimes, again, sometimes they might just check whether, like they might just throw some obvious thing and to check how you are taking the feedback. Like, are you saying no, that's not going to work? If you say like this, then it might mean that you're not taking feedback like that. You should say it like, okay, I'm thinking in this direction. And that's why talking out loud is really important. You're explaining your thought process is really important. So, okay, I'm thinking like this, but okay, as you said, let me think about using that data structure that you said, maybe something like this. So this is gist of the Google interviews. Again, you can know more about it in google.com/careers website. Again, they have a lot of videos on YouTube regarding the mock interviews. Google themselves have given some YouTube videos regarding mock interviews. Apart from that, the in the careers, you will have a website, careersonair.withgoogle.com. There they have a lot of sessions regarding interview preparations and resume building, and I almost have seen all of them, because uh, you can see them in free time. Like, you don't have to see all of them, because in majority of the cases they have the same repeated information. uh, but it really helps because they themselves are telling officially that okay, you need to do this. And so because each year they have some campus recruitment and other things, so they generally do pre-placement talk and they explain everything, and it's recording, it's saved in that careers on air with google.com website. And not only campus recruitment, like even off campus recruitment, they do some sessions, and they do save those sessions on that website. So uh, it's advisable. Like they are having going to have on 16th of January, they are going to have one more virtual summit on like how AI is impacting the work, and how what they are going to do in future, and how you should learn from that. And so even I'm going to watch that on 16th of January. It's going to be held by Google India. Let me type the name of the website, because I actually thought that I have written it in the presentation, but I didn't. So careers.google.com. So if you go to this website, they have like a lot of videos, like career level if you are a student or early career. So they have a lot of videos, like for each region they do it separately. So apply your coding knowledge part 1, apply your coding knowledge part 2. So they you will get a lot of insights regarding by watching all this. Then early career ka they have separately for like Google on campus. They did it on with Australia and New Zealand. So like it's always advisable because the majority of the time they will have the same information. So but you don't need to watch all of them, as I said. But yeah, like watching a couple of them will really help because it will they themselves are telling it. So it has to be like it's the legitimate one. So, and it's better to like instead of watching a creator's video on YouTube, like a random, like they might also be Googlers, so that's fine. But if Google themselves are giving you resources, then that's the best thing that you can do. There is no other way. On code forces, on Eat Code, and then give contests regularly. The good thing about contests is that you will be able to you are forced to think on that time constraint because there is a constraint of time. You're forced to think within that time limit, and so it kinds of simulates the environment of the coding assessment as well as the online these interviews. And again, if you are a good competitive programmer, then you should continue doing that irrespective of whether you have got the job or not. Like if it excites you, do it. Like in my opinion. And yeah, give a lot of mock interviews. Now, I will like to tell you about a method which I followed. Generally, Google interviews they have their own kind of Google Docs environment, like the Google Docs environment. So what you should do is just copy paste the question on Google Docs, and I think you know about OBS Studio. It's like a self-recording software. So you can start recording the desktop and start recording your voice. Set the timer of 45 minutes. Go through the problem and try to explain the solution. Just talk out loud in front of the camera. It will record it. Write the solution in your in that Google Doc itself. After just explain the solution, write the code. Again, as I said, take some test cases, do some dry run, and just see how much time you are taking for doing all of this for a medium level. Start with easy, then go with medium, and then go with hard. So once you're done with this, just copy paste the problem on lead code and try to see how many test cases you passed. If there are some syntax error, it's fine because it's not possible always to get it 100% correct. Even they don't like punish you for getting some syntax errors. They actually don't run the code, but even if they catch up, okay, there is a semicolon miss, it's fine. You are a human being, you are bound to make errors. So those things are fine. As long as the logic is correct, it's fine. So try to see how many test cases you passed, which test cases you missed, and why did you miss. And try to do it like start with try to start with 2 easy problems, then 3 easy problems, then 1 medium, then 2 medium. As far as I'm concerned, I started practicing in December. Like my internship session started in July of 2024. Yeah. June, July 2024. So I started this mock interview thing from January or December of like January 2024. And that 5 to 6 months of the mock interviews helped me a lot. You don't have to do it for 5 to 6 months. I actually started enjoying doing that. And that's why I kept on doing that thing repeatedly. But yeah, so you can do that. It actually really helps a lot for the mock interviews thing. And one more thing, yeah, since you are recording it, you can go back, watch your recording, and try to improve, like find out errors. Okay, I could have said this in a better way or more technical way. So just try to see, okay, if this kind of scenario comes, instead of telling this statement, I will tell this statement or tell it in a more technical way. As you are explaining to your interviewer, try to use more technical languages like 2 pointers. I will move the pointer here and there. one more thing which I just remembered. This is regarding code quality, which I mentioned here. It is always advisable to not use I and j variables in for loop. Although I don't think they punish you that much. But if as a developer, when you're writing code like that, it's better you use index or pointer as loop variable names instead of ing. Again, it depends on the interviewer. I have seen some, like I have heard some interviewers punishing for that. I have, but yeah, some just ignore it because it's like a normal usage of variables. So again, you can, like, again, you can see all these things when you are recording the thing, your video. You will find out a lot of mistakes initially, and then as you improve, as you keep on doing this, your mistakes will reduce. So it actually takes approximately 1 month. So if you do this on a regular basis or in a weekly, may do 2 to 3 times for 1 month, I think you will be prepared really well. So uh, do this. It actually really helps. Giving a lot of mock interviews helps. Then build projects. Again, a no-brainer. You have to add projects in your resume. So build projects, and you can build a clone. I don't think that's illegal. But when you, even if you're building a clone, don't build exact clone. Like, okay, the WhatsApp UI looks exactly the same. Okay, but it's green, fine. But you can change it a little bit. Change the UI how you want the product to be. Like, imagine if you would have started WhatsApp, how would you want it to look? So try to make those UI changes, and if you are if you like front end, then change the UI, and try to name each project of your own. Like, don't just write in the resume, okay, WhatsApp clone. I have seen the heading of the project, WhatsApp clone. It's better you write, you find out a good name. Just go to Gemini, GPT, tell them, okay, I want a good name for my social media website. It has these features. What should I name it? You will spit out the name. Try to name it those instead of writing clones on your resume. Second is try to build some AI related projects, because again, it's AI is hype right now. Again, it's AI hype. It's hype as well as reality. Like, everyone is using it. So we have to be prepared. Calling APIs, the using LangChain. I'm like currently learning those things because I haven't built projects for a long time. So agentic AI, using agentic AI, using LangChain, and using RAG in your projects. This will help you because it will be more industry relevant. And again, try to be as innovative in your projects as possible. Like, if something is working, okay, I can improve it, even if it's a small thing. Like, if you are, because today, as of now, uh, coding is not that especially this dev side, coding is not that difficult. Like, if you know, okay, I want to do this, I will make Gemini and GPT spit out the code and it will work. But what matters today is the features that you are doing, that you are showing up in your projects. And again, like, can you build a scalable thing from like scratch? So have you thought about, okay, if this fails, if some, again, coming back to the edge cases, like, if something fails, how is your app going to react? So try to, like, for example, if you are scraping a website, or there is a crawler who is like crawling websites, and what will happen if that crawler goes down? And so you can have key, okay, if the crawler goes down, I will wait for a few seconds. Obviously, add logging and metric. Like, why did it go down? Print out the stack test and write it on a file somewhere, so that, or create a dash. Like, I think creating a dashboard is too much for a project, but just write it on a file that, okay, this happened and that's why it went down. So what can I do? I can spin up a new thread after waiting. Maybe, I don't know. Just look at the context of why you were doing that and what went wrong, and based on that, try to find out the solution. Because these small innovations and these small problem solving things will help you to separate from just spitting out a clone project. So yeah, that's about the projects. And again, the last thing and the most important thing, focus on your CS fundamentals. You should be thorough with operating systems, databases, and computer networks, because you will be using them a lot inside in a really like in bits and pieces. But you it won't be like, okay, I'm going to use all the OS concepts in this project. No, you will be using some OS concepts, you will be writing some SQL, you will from databases, and you might also be using some networks. You will be using all these things inside the industry in bits and pieces. So that's why you should be good at it, because otherwise you will like, it's okay to think, but if imagine it's a really trivial thing, you studied that concept, but you forgot, it might take up time. Okay, yeah, I can use this. Like you can do a Google search, and it might take more time. Like if you know how to do something from like start, then you will be able to ship things fast. And actually that matters as a junior engineer, if you're shipping things fast, and it should work, right? So if your CS fundamentals are really good, you can actually ship fast, because you know that, okay, this is the concept I'm going to use here. So yeah, I should do it in this way. And again, I stress a lot on fundamentals, because I will tell you about one of the staff engineers. So L6 engineer, like L6 staff engineer is like after you get promoted to senior, and then from senior you get one more promotion, you become a staff engineer. So one of the staff engineers, and even one of my professors in the mathematics 2 course in my first year, said that unless and until you know the fundamentals, you will not be able to do new things. And today the world demands you to do new things. Um, Google is like, as in the introduction, Arjun said, it's really innovating company, right? So you will be able to innovate only if you know fundamentals. Like, okay, X works in Y way. What can I do to improve it? So I want X to work in Z way. So the path from Y to Z, you will only, first of all, again, as I said, you have to know what Y is, how X works currently. If you don't know that, how will you create a path from Y to Z? So that's why you should know fundamentals really, really well. Discrete math is like the base. Again, as a developer, you don't need to go deep in discrete maths. You should know operating systems, databases, and computer networks. These three are really important. If you have more time, you want to build compilers and want to code in assembly, then you can go with excelling in compiler design. Like there are a lot of teams inside Google as well, which they work on tool chains. Like I saw in the career portal, they were working on compilers, tool chains, and etc. Then if you are a math guy, then you can obviously excel in discrete math. You can do research. There are research teams inside Google as well. So yeah, as I said, like undo redo features, it works on stack data structure. Initially autocomplete, that as you start typing, it's basically prefix matchings. They use try data structure. And indexing can take the query time from 0.1 seconds from 10 seconds to 0.1 seconds. And regular expressions, like I really like regular expressions, like the basic fundamental concepts from the automata theory. So in this way, these theoretical concepts and these fundamentals do matter. Like just look at past engineers. Engineers from the era of 2008, 2009, or even like 2000s, they didn't have frameworks, right? Frameworks come and go, but these fundamentals stick. Like they created these frameworks. How did they create these frameworks? Because they had a really good knowledge of systems. And like, okay, if I do this, then this will happen. So I shouldn't do this, right? So that's why having like the knowledge of fundamentals is really important. Also, inside companies, you work on different frameworks. All of them are internal frameworks, internal tools. So how can you catch up fast? You will be able to catch up fast only if you know, because at fundamental level they all are same. There might be some uh, different kind of wrapper to based on like how much abstraction they want to get out of it, but on a level, on the fundamental level, they all are same and they work in the same way. So that's why having a crystal clear fundamentals is really important. And even for interviews, like if you want to switch, even if as a junior engineer you get promoted and you want to switch in the company, switch to a different company, they are going to ask you DSA again. They are going to ask you these fundamentals again, because they are the root of computer science. And if you want to do something new, if you want to, as I said, create new things, which this world demands right now, you have to like you can only do that if you have the right fundamentals, because if you don't know how X works, then you can't say okay, I will make X work in a different way. So yeah. And again, depth is really important in today's like scenario. AI is everywhere, like they can code but they cannot take decisions. And good decision making, okay, a problem can be solved in 4 different ways: X, Y, Z, and W, say. So I am going to choose Y. Why am I going to choose Y? You cannot just say, okay, Gemini, give me which one should I choose. Obviously, it's always like they will tell, okay, use Y, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, you are going to be responsible for that. Right? So you can't be completely making decisions, because company has appointed you for doing that work, not that AI. They are just helper tools. So, and again, I think there is a famous quote from IBM that a machine should never be given the power to take decisions, because they cannot be held accountable. We can be held accountable for our mistakes, but they cannot be held accountable. Like, okay, yeah, it's a machine. It can make mistakes. Even human beings make mistakes a lot, but like they are just machines. Generally now, since in the term of AI, like when this was said, at that time everything was deterministic, like all the algorithms and all, like machine learning was completely inside the book at that point of time. There were some little applications of machine learning, but today it's like everywhere. uh, in this 2026 and 2025, like they are building a lot of agentic tools using MCP and also, and then there's agent to agent communication protocol coming as well. I think Google launched it last year in Cloud Next. They announced it. So a lot. This is a really fun time, because again, when something disruptive happens and you are able to do new things in this time, you will be getting a lot of profits in the longer run. Like if something is in has gone to a plateau stage, you won't be able to reap that much profit out of it. But at this stage, since like it's I don't think scalability would be a problem. Like some many people are telling that this we are in an AI bubble and it's going to burst. Let it be burst, but whatever model we have, we can use it in n number of different ways. And so our creativity will come into play how we are using it. Google is integrating Gemini everywhere, like in Gmail, in Android Automotive, in like in CES 2026. I saw they had a Google TV session. Like they have integrated VO and this Banana Pro models and the Google TV. So it's really nice to see, like, you can do a lot of things with these models and be if you're really creative. So creativity with strong fundamentals, uh, that's the way to like catch up in the game today. And yeah, resources may you should lead code is there, code force is there, Stiver sheet, there are a number of DSA sheets. Can go through, practice those. Take part in contests. There is CSCS problem set for system design. Again, as a junior engineer, you're not as system design in interviews, but it's a good knowledge to have. And when you start learning system design, then you will find, okay, a lot of computer science fundamentals are being used here, and it's a lot of common sense as well. Uh, like and like some things, some design decisions, you will see, okay, yeah, this is obvious, but thinking about those decision is not that easy. It's obvious but not easy. So I actually studied system design from there is a book by Alex Wu or Wu of System Design Interview. It's a really famous book. And then if you want to be a really good engineer, you should start reading research papers about Google file system. Like there are a lot of research papers released by the industries like Google, Amazon as well, and go through the papers: Google file system, Google Zanzibar, Google Big Table, then Spanner, all these databases. Why are they able to scale? Why do these databases scale this much, like this easily? What design decision they took, and how are they like managing the data? They have some insights, and it actually really helps. It opens up your mind. Oh wow, you can do it in this way as well. Then again, ML papers, again, transformers paper, attention is all you need. It's a really famous paper. Then a lot of other ML papers as well. uh, Again, visit Acha, I have mentioned this. Okay, careers on air.withgoogle.com. This is a really amazing resource, as I showed you. Like, it has a lot of sessions, and it basically you get exactly from Google what they want. So that's the nice part of it. And yeah, so my internship experience, I will talk about it a little bit. I was in Ananta office. I worked from May to August this summer or last summer. I worked with amazing people. My team was really amazing, really fun, and I it was really nice to get the insights how industry works. Like, there are a lot of things which you can only know after you work. Not It's not necessary in Google. Like, all the industries more or less, they work on in the same way. When you have an industry experience, even for 3 to 4 months, it actually changes your outlook on, like, oh wow, this is the way the entire like industry works, and the production system works. And okay, so this is how things work at scale. I never thought about it. Okay, we can do this as well. So it opens up your mind. So that's the best thing. And again, Google's food, everyone says about it's really good. Like, honestly speaking, like it's really good food. And yeah, I got a flavor of production grade engineering. You will become a good engineer if you work inside, like, as I can see, like, because you have to think about a lot of things, like while writing unit tests and also there are a lot of, that's where like edge cases and all comes, like. And then you have to take some design decisions as well. As I said, you can do things in 4 ways. You can say, okay, some design decisions you might think they are better from like complexity perspective. Okay, yeah, this is best. ABC, okay, A works in constant time or something, but it might not be even implementable. So it's not always necessary that the best design decision is implementable. So you have to take a trade-off there. Okay, I need the best user experience. The business has to move fast. So based on my business decisions, as well as some technical decisions, I should go with approach B, maybe. So this is really, and you can only learn this while in the industry, or if you start your own startup. I think that's also a good way to learn. But I don't think these things can be learned in personal projects. Like, it's really difficult actually to get these insights in or know about this in personal projects. So yeah. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Hello, am I audible? Right?
Yes, we are waiting for the
Okay.
questions.
Okay. You can either speak out your questions or write them in chat as you wish. Uh,
I have a question. You did
yeah.
mention around December you started doing mocks. So if we have to pinpoint it, like the whole uh, duration of the your preparation, basically, can you give us like a small recap on the whole thing?
Okay, so I actually started learning DSA in my second semester of college, and in the second semester, I like saw almost the entire playlist. Like I was majorly watching Striver, so I completed graphs, trees, DP, tries, everything in the second semester. I used to see the videos, solve a bunch of problems, move on to next concept, and so basically in second semester I just did knowledge farming. I got the entire bucket of knowledge which is required. In the third semester completely I practiced a lot. I gave contests on lead code. I gave contests on code forces, and I practiced a lot. So that was really a practice phase for me. And between second and third semester, the gap in between the gap, I made some projects. So that was the third semester. And by the end of the third semester, in January, we have the step internships, like for the fourth semester, second year people. So I wanted to get into Google actually. From the beginning of the college, I had made my mind ki, okay, I want to get into this company. So I because getting being an intern from early on, or getting your hand into the company from the early on, that actually is easier. Because as you move up, there will be more rounds of interviews, and it will become, the process will become tough and tough. So I wanted to get into Google. So I was like, okay, I want to get into, let's like step intern is an amazing opportunity for second year students. Now they have changed the name to associate software developer intern. So yeah, so I actually started practicing in this mock interview style fashion mein from the December of that year. Like you have the gap between third and fourth semester. From that time I started, and then I continued the entire. And I did not get the step interview. My resume did not get shortlisted. So my entire fourth sem I practiced in that way. And then even in the holidays I practiced it in the same way. I also like I was, since I was bored with doing the same DSA thing since my second semester, so I also started like reading system design stuff. Like I read that book completely, volume one, which I mentioned, and then I started reading some research papers because again, for not only Google's papers, every company like Amazon's DynamoDB is also really amazing paper. Uh, so that I actually kind of I started getting insights. I also, like, I had already done OS and DBMS in that time. With OS was already there in the college. I did DBMS by through knowledge is sufficient to read that book of system design and start gaining understanding. Okay, so this is how you scale the system. This is how you take decisions. And so I think that also helped because many of one more thing I need to mention. If you can, try to create a design document for the projects and add up your link or upload it in GitHub on GitHub. Okay, why did you choose these tech stacks? Why did you design it in this way? And if you want to, okay, with the limited resources, obviously you cannot build that huge of a system. You don't have that much money. It's just a personal project. You can uh, like, uh, 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 either upload it on GitHub and your GitHub link will be there on resume. Either do that or like have a design doc link separately on your resume. Because if you are doing that, recruiter catches that or interview catches that, it will be a really nice first impression. Okay, this guy knows how to, like he has at least tried being a like a junior or like just a college student trying this stuff. It just shows that yeah, he has a growth mindset. That's also what they look at. So yeah, I did that, and then intern season came, and then I got offers from Google and Microsoft and Sprinkler. I got three offers. I chose Google out of them, uh, and then yeah, that's how it was.
Thank you. That was a great overview of the whole period that you went through. And I really reflected upon the part of like the being the disruptors in an industry because that actually lasts. And is there anyone who would like to ask questions? No?
Yeah, there is a question from Devashish. Is development and DSA both important? If yes, how do we learn it? See, first of all, I will tell you a way. First of all, I think you should learn DSA really nicely. Once you know DSA really well, in terms of concepts, you can just start practicing two problems daily, and in the rest of the times, you can build projects or like focus on your academics and build projects because and that really helps because by practicing two problems or giving like contest weekly, you won't forget what you know, and you already know DSA now, right? So like if you get some unknown problems, you will upsolve. So in that way, you will build that skill parallelly, and development you can do in the entire day. And for development, don't just watch videos. I will highly advise to learn by reading documentation. It's tough, it's more tough, but uh, the way I do is okay, I want to create this. I will be using this tech stacks because I want to learn them. So okay, I will first of all create, I jot down my point, start, and that eventually becomes the high level design doc. I start like it initially it starts with a really rough doc. I write, jot down the points. Okay, I need to do this. For this, I will be using this. For this, I will be using this, and eventually, and then I start. So I had this a big idea. Now I have broken it down into bits and pieces. I'll start executing each piece, and then finally the only thing will be left is the connecting those bits and pieces. So like for example, I created a social media website in my first semester, between the first and second semester, so using Flutter because I wanted to know how to create APIs and like how to handle databases. So I had the databases in MongoDB. So first I built the backend. Okay, in this way you route your requests. This is the API. This is how you create APIs. This is how you insert data in the data. Because I had no idea at that point of time. I was like in between first and second semester, in the second and third semester. So first year guy or almost second year guy. So then I started knowing, okay, so this is how you create backend. Now I have to create front end. Front end, okay, I need to create 3 pages. So I will first create this page, then second page. In second page, okay, I need to integrate some, to call some APIs. So okay, how to do that? I then I learned that, then I implemented that, and it is the best way to learn instead of like just like watching a video and like looking at a project which someone else has done and creating it in exactly the same way. I think this is a better way. You are creating what you want, and for the code and stuff, all the resources are available. You can say Gemini to write the code. It's completely okay in dev to ask others to write the code as long as you're understanding what they're writing. So this is really important. Don't just copy paste the code. Understand each and every line. Why has it written it in that way? Is there a better way to write or do the same thing in is there a better way to do the same thing? Like there might be a different library which does it in a better way. So you will learn, ask questions. Like if you're using Gemini for dev, ask questions, because that's the only way in which you can learn. If you are not asking questions and you're just copy pasting, you won't learn. And don't use ChatGPT or Gemini for learning DSA. Please do not learn, like, you practice on your own and learn it in that way. Also, you can use Gemini and GPT to understand the solution after you have given 30 to 40 minutes. Then only look at the solution. And after like 40 to 1 hour, like I generally waited for like 1 hour. There is no strict time, but 1 hour or 1.5 hour. If I have made no progress on that question, I will then look at the solution and maybe look at the hints, and then try to correct my direction and solve. But okay, if I want to look at the solution, at that point of time, I did not use AI that much to understand the solution. I tried to understand the solution myself. But today you can use it and understand it fastly. Also, uh, understanding why of the solution is more important than how of the solution, because why will help you replicate the same thing in a different question. But if you only know how, then if you are given a different question, you might get stuck. If you know why, you will find a pattern and you can replicate that same thing in a different question. So uh, that is what you how you should do DSA and development both. Now, next question is: as you worked as an intern, you surely must have worked on many fun projects. So, if I'm working on a project, how do I proceed keeping? Okay. Uh, so, if you are building a personal project, there is no need, because I don't think anyone is going. If you are making a project that you want others to use, then you can keep this scalability thing in mind. Otherwise, if you just wanted to put on your resume, don't you should think about the scalability part only on paper. Like, I don't think you will like do vertical scaling and horizontal scaling for a project which no one is going to use. So if you want others to use, if it's a startup, then and you're really like into that project, then you can think about the scalability aspects, how to keep these scalability aspects in mind. uh, you should always think what will happen if more, like, will the resource that I have provided, or is the resource which I am using, which my project is, scalability thing is for hackathons and all. Okay, so for hackathons, generally, if you're using Firebase, if you're creating backend of your own, if you're using Firebase, then the scalability part is already taken care of by Google, or the other whatever like backend thing you use. But if you are creating the backend on your own and like creating the entire server side on your own, you that's why system design fundamentals can help you like talk to the judges of the hackathons, so that you can tell them, okay, I can do this to scale. And that's why knowing system design is what I can do horizontal scaling. Okay, this is the bottleneck. Currently, this resource is the bottleneck for scalability. So how will you scale that part? If imagine I'm using a database to get the data. And so if that database gets too many requests, then it will stop working, it will start crashing. So how should I scale the database? Let's take this example. So what you can do, so there are a couple of steps. Employ first step is like, you can horizontal scaling. Then third, after a little bit of vertical scaling, perform CQRS. That's a command query responsibility principle, or CQRP. Basically, what you do, you create a leader which will handle all the write requests, and then there are two or more followers, like master slave architecture, where you all the write request goes to master, all the read request goes to the slave. You can explain your answer in this way, generally database is bottleneck, compute is a bottleneck. So also, like, if it's a cloud thing, the only thing that it will automatically scale if you are using AWS Lambda and stuff. But if you want, in that case, they must be asking, okay, how will you reduce costs? So that means that your software should be, or the code that you're writing, that should be optimal. कि, okay, मेरा इतने resource में ही काम चल जाएगा. So in that case, you have to write that kind of efficient software, and maybe you have used some, like, again, that depends on the context. I hope I answered your question. It was, I think, all around the place, but I think I answered it. Yeah, okay. Welcome. First of all, many congratulations. Thank you so much. And starting who I unit programming and DSA, like what should I learn first? Okay. So my first question is, Rupesh, have you done programming previously, like before college, like in school or something? So there are two branches. The answer as will be okay. Yes, you have done it in school. Have you done it in Java or like just Q Basic or like if you are from ICSC, I think you must have done Java. Oh no, in C and okay, you have done C. C, you have done C. That's a brilliant thing because you must be knowing pointers. If you don't, then you should learn pointers and you should play around with pointers because once you start making mistakes with these pointers and get some segmentation faults, that's when you start learning. Uh, so how you should approach, learn either C++. Since you know C, I will advise you to learn C++. It's basically C plus the oops wrapper, and you will basically, it won't be too much of a learning curve for you. STL library, the standard template library, they have some data structures already created for you, and you use those data structures like hash map, basically ordered map, unordered map, vectors. So learn STL and then start solving some problems with STL. The problems, and you can start with that and start with arrays, then binary search, and then stacks queues. After that, you can do heaps, and then hash maps per question, and then do graphs, then dynamic programming, trees. In this order, you can start learning. Since you are in your first year, uh, it's, I think this is the best time because what happened in my second semester, it was really light, and that is the reason I was able to do this in like parallelly learn DSA, because yeah. So I think it's a like, if your STEM is cool, don't like waste your time just chilling out. Like learn something in that sense. So like what should I learn first and what kind of approach work best for you? So in the beginning, try to solve problems, easy problems. Then after solving some easy problems, go to medium problems on the same concepts and learn that concept and then solve the problems on that concept initially. बाद में जाके you should pick up random problems so that you don't know कि कौन सा concept लग रहा है, because you won't be knowing. So do it in this way. Give some time to DSA. You will be good at DSA. It's not that tough. Okay. Hey Satyam, congratulations. Thank you. My question is, what kind of projects does Google value more? Okay. What kind of projects do Google value more? Again, I actually don't know what they value more, but again, a gut feeling that working on projects or using the tech stacks which Google provides or like which Google works on, like you can use Flutter if you are an Android, or like Flutter is for everything. So you can build projects using Flutter. You can use Firebase. Then you can work on some Android stuff because they work on those. And if you are a web developer, then what can Google see? You should also look on some cloud stuff like GCP and all. Like look what Google works on. You can use if you are using those tech stacks. Then I think Google should value that more. Again, I don't know. Like because I don't know how they review the resume. What Google's recruit, like I don't know like exactly what they value. But yeah, I think. And also regarding projects, as I said, they value numbers more than tech stacks. You should have numbers in your uh, projects. So yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Okay, so thank you everyone for having presenting their questions. As we wrap up today's session, I'd like to express our sincere gratitude to Satyam Jha. Satyam, thank you for being so transparent about your internship journey and for sharing those valuable tips on cracking the technical interviews. Your insights into the broader CS landscape was especially helpful. It was great. We also want to formally thank Kalyanda from DevPlexity for facilitating this session. Thank you all for joining us today. This concludes our GDGC session.